Yep, we went short track racing tonight, and short track racing breeds short tempers. And boy, were the tempers flaring tonight during the first day of 500 at the Martinsville Speedway under the lights for the first time in the short track's career history. I'm Justin with NRN, the No Bull Racing Network, and let's go through and debrief now that the first race in this round is over. Who came out on top and who's got some splaining to do. So we were potentially going to see who was going to win and go on to compete for that championship in Homestead, and now we know who it will be. The driver will be Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch grabs the checkered flag and will advance to the final round at Homestead to compete for his second championship, which is kind of funny because he was struggling in the last round, and at Kansas only a week ago he was one of the drivers who might have gotten eliminated had he not had a strong race. He gets into this round and on the first race picks up the win and is advancing to the final round. But let's go back and take a look at that wild finish that led to Kyle Busch getting that win. Actually, Kyle Busch was not even in contention for the win really at the start. They were doing a green-white checker finish off of a previous incident, and coming out of two, Chase Elliott, who's still looking for his first career win, took the lead from Denny Hamlin, but going into three, in my opinion, it looked to me like Denny Hamlin used Chase Elliott as brakes and straight up wrecked the kid in the corner, putting Chase Elliott in the fence, and the crowd reacted with boos. Denny Hamlin, who normally gets cheers because he's a Virginia native at a track like Martinsville in Virginia, the Virginia native usually gets nothing but cheers when you go to those types of races, but he was actually getting booed. I mean, a lot of people really like Chase Elliott. He's a likable guy. You want him to do well. But Denny Hamlin straight up put him in the fence. Listening to his interview, Hamlin said that Chase Elliott lost control and spun out. Which to me, why would you say that? I mean, Denny Hamlin does know these races are filmed, right? I mean, he does know that we're going to go back and look and see because there are such things called replays. You can rewind the tape and see what happened. And Chase Elliott may have lost the car, but he certainly didn't do it on his own. Denny Hamlin ran all into him. I don't know why Denny Hamlin just didn't say, hell yeah, I hit him. I mean, he could have. He could have said something like, well, I'm racing for my championship. If I win the race, I go on to Homestead. It makes perfect sense to drive that aggressive. But I don't think it's very sportsmanlike to take the boy completely out of the race and just straight up wreck him so that you can win. That I don't agree with in racing. That is not racing. Beating and banging and slamming into one another trying to pass, that is racing. But straight up putting him in the fence, that isn't racing, my friend. That is not racing at all. Let's take a look at the top 20 finishers from the first day of 500. Of course, Kyle Busch getting the win and will secure him a spot at Homestead to compete for a championship. Martin Truex Jr. would be second, which is big because a lot of people thought that this was going to be the race where maybe some people could capitalize on that team because Truex Jr. has never gotten a short track win. He's not good at them at all. And this was one that even he had circled as a problem. But he comes away with a second place finish, which isn't good for the rest of the field because he gets those very valuable points by finishing second. And then, of course, next week is Texas, the big mile and a half where those guys have dominated all season long. So the bad race that everyone was hoping that Truex would have didn't happen. Clint Boyer would be third with a really strong run. Brad Keselowski would be fourth. He won both stages, stage 1 and stage 2. But finishes fourth overall at the end of the race. Kevin Harvick fifth, another playoff guy, having a solid top 5 day. Trevor Bayne in sixth place. Really strong run for Trevor Bayne. Congratulations to him. Of course, Denny Hamlin, the man who caused all of the problem at the end of the race, he would come home seventh. Ryan Blaney, a championship contender, will be eighth. Matt Kenseth ninth, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ends up 10th. And that rounds out the top 10. Dale Earnhardt Jr. would be 11th. Jimmy Johnson 12th. Johnson had to start dead last after changing his tires from a spin in qualifying. Of course, that is a no-no in the rule book, so he had to go all the way to the back. So championship contender Jimmy Johnson finishes 12th. Austin Dillon was 13th. Ryan Newman 14th. Rookie Daniel Suarez would be 15th. Casey Kane 16th, Danica Patrick having a really strong day in 17th, Eric Almirola 18th, 19th was Michael McDowell, and 20th, Paul Menard. That rounds out the top 20 from the first day to 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. So Kyle Busch picks up the win, and now that he's got the win, huge advantage. You want to get that win early because now he doesn't even have to worry about Texas or Phoenix. If he doesn't want to show up to those races, he actually doesn't even have to. He's guaranteed a spot in the championship 4 at Homestead. And now that team can only look forward, and they don't have to worry about the next 2 races coming up. They can begin preparing for the championship, which is a huge advantage over the rest of the field, who still have to try to get in over the next 2 weeks. But Kyle Busch can kick back, relax, eat M&Ms, and sing Kumbaya for all he cares, because he ain't got to worry about it no more. So while they were racing for championship contenders in Martinsville, down in Mexico, Formula One was crowning a champion. Lewis Hamilton won his 4th career world title, which puts him of a very short list of drivers who have only ever won 4, including the guy who he beat, Sebastian Vettel, who's actually won 4, so now he ties him for world titles. But Lewis Hamilton wins his 4th world title, which you just saw coming. So that's really no big surprise there. But Max Verstappen picks up his 3rd career victory in the Red Bull, which is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, and could possibly compete for a world title against Mercedes next season, because Red Bull is already starting to outpace Ferrari. So big day for Max Verstappen. Congratulations to the youngster on picking up his 3rd career win. And congratulations to Lewis Hamilton with a 4th world championship. He could be everything as good as Michael Schumacher was, the messiah of racing indeed. So for the first time ever on this, I want to hand out an award. I would like to present the first ever No Bull Driver of the Race award to none other than Chase Elliott, who ran in the top 5 all race long, led at the end, almost picked up his first win until he was put in the fence with a 27th place finish right there at the end because of Denny Hamlin. But still, the No Bull Driver of the Race award will go to Chase Elliott. So NASCAR is heading out west to the Texas Motor Speedway, the big 1.5 miles, and I think that's where Martin Truex Jr. is going to pick up his win and join Kyle Busch in the top 4. So Kyle Busch is in the top 4. We know that much. Kyle Busch will compete for a championship in Homestead. Can he make it too? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm Justin with NRN, the No Bull Racing Network, and I'll see you guys in Texas next week. Take it easy.